Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Robin.
And we're the Ramblers.
Today we are doing a question and answer session because so many of our Ramblerheads wrote in questions, very curious of how life is going on our loop. And they wrote in on our Facebook page, our Instagram, and our YouTube. So I kind of compile all the questions into like sections, and we're going to answer them for you right now. So we're basically on a 36-foot Saberline fast trawler, a 1995.
Right.
It's 36 feet long and 12 and a half feet beam. And right now we're in Clearwater Beach, Florida. And we've gone about 3,000 miles,
Yeah, almost, yeah.
From Detroit. We started in Detroit in Lake Huron, Michigan on what day? I don't remember.
June 28th.
Oh yeah, June 28th. And so far I'm looking at our stats. We've gone about 3,000 miles. We've gone through 8 states, Michigan, Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. We've done 9 rivers. Can you name any?
Yeah, Illinois, the Cumberland, Tom Bigby, Mississippi, the Chicago River. There were a couple others.
Ohio, Grand River, St. Clair. So 9 rivers so far. And we've done 3 side trips. You ready, Captain Dan?
Sure.
All right. Well, our very first one comes from Helen. And Helen, you'll hear her name a lot because I think she is looking to do the loop. And she wants to know, how far in advance do we start planning?
Wow. Okay. It's something that we thought about for, I don't know, 5, 6 years or more.
Oh, you probably
longer
since
than
I've
that,
known
actually,
you,
yeah.
basically. But I kind of jumped on board a few years ago when it became more toward reality.
Started probably actually making planning toward it 2 or 3 years ago. I'd say at least 3 years ago.
Just kind of testing the waters.
Right.
And then we ended up looking for a boat during COVID 2020. And since we were on lockdown, that's when we really started looking at what type of boat we wanted and narrowing it down, because there's so many different varieties of boats. You want to look at what's going to be comfortable for you. And then within the last years when we said, you know, what's going to happen, and we're going to really start planning. And we actually, over Christmas break, because I'm a teacher, over Christmas break, last year we sat down with all of our books. We had the Looper Companion, we had websites, we had a couple other books, AGLCA, American's Great Loop. We used their ideas, and we kind of started, where can we stay in what looks like a good, kind of like a overview, right?
Right.
And we've stuck to some of it, and other times we just kind of go with the flow.
Right.
So it kind of gave us an overview, and then that's how we started. Sandy is very interested in what does it mean to go all in, and did you have to convince or persuade each other to go all in and go on this trip?
All in means we sold our house, we sold our cars, got rid of all of our junk.
And do we have to persuade each other or convince each other?
No, we both were all up for it.
We were ready. We were ready to do this trip, and we've always wanted to do this trip. And I don't know, pretty much for as long as I met you, we knew we were going to live on a boat sometime.
Yeah,
pretty much.
We were ready to be out of the house and out of cold weather.
Okay, good. She also wants to know, do we have any kids or pets?
We have 2 kids.
We have 2 boys. They live back in Michigan. They're grown,
Michigan.
and we have no pets.
No pets.
Other than Dan's beard, which we have to groom every day and feed, water with rum. And she wants to know, our very first day on June 28th, were you scared? Were you excited? What were you feeling on that very first day?
I was excited. You know, I wanted to finally do this thing we'd talked about for so long.
I was never scared.
No.
Never. No. And it was like, nope, that's next. That's what we're doing. And we just kind of move on. I was kind of my last day was like June 15th, 16th. I wanted to go right away, and I was more anxious to get going and just start. And yeah, we never looked back.
Right.
We haven't looked back.
Right.
And it's December. No, it's not December.
It's mid-January.
It's mid-January. And that's what happens when you're in the loop. You have not a clue.
You lose track of days.
Everything blurs, and it's awesome. Just think about your house, your junk drawer, your extra closets, your basement, your garage, all that stuff where you just kind of set aside and forget about. We had to get rid of. But there were certain things we had to keep.
Right.
But a lot. So many of you were so interested in this. And I'm just going to name a few. Helen, Kim H, Sandy B, and Frank had lots of questions about this. So we're going to kind of go through all these questions. Oh, and Nancy, are you both retired, and what did you do?
We are both retired.
We are. I took an early retirement.
I worked in television. I worked at Channel 2 in Detroit for 34 years.
It was like CBS, then it was
a few other
Fox.
places before that.
Yep, and that's where we met. I used to work in TV. And then I retired from being a kindergarten teacher. So did that. So teaching was in my blood and media was in Dan's. This next question, how long did it take you to get rid of everything?
Wow, that was kind of a drawn out process, probably a year from
Yeah,
start to finish.
I would think a year when we kind of started. But we basically had some garage sales, donated, gave things to family, gave things to friends, threw things out. And yes, this is a big question. Do you have a storage unit? No, we do not have a storage unit. However, somebody asked about, what about your mementos, your photo albums? Those are the things we kept. We have about 4 or 5 big Rubbermaids, and we keep that at our son's house. So not a whole lot, but we didn't want to pay a storage unit, and a friend has a couple bins. So we have about 5 or 6 bins that, to be honest, I don't remember what's in them anymore, so I'm glad we're not paying for them.
Right. Exactly.
Here's the hardest part, where it meant something to me, but didn't mean anything to anybody else. And it's like, I don't have room for this, and I really don't need it. So that was a hard part.
And then you couldn't really sell it or anything because nobody else really wanted it.
Because it didn't mean anything to anybody. So kind of keeping the memory. I ended up taking pictures of a lot of things and just storing it in my phone, and that's what I did as a picture, right? Clothes. What about your clothes? Got rid of probably 80%, 90%. Didn't really buy anything new, but kept a lot of summery clothes, boating clothes. I'm glad we kept some warmer clothes because we've had some cold days.
Yeah,
in the late fall in the river system, which was still in Kentucky, Tennessee got a little chilly at night, Alabama, and Florida's having a cold spell right now. Now I know cold spell isn't the same as in the north, but I'm glad I kept my warmer clothes. Right. So just a few. And yeah, your out of season clothes, same thing. We did keep our winter coats. There's a spot, where we keep those, and I think we've had to pull those out just a couple times. Just the kind that pack down. We don't have a big bulky parka kind of deals.
And
but
for me, I mean, our boys are kind of pretty much the same size as me, so I had them take whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
And then and they didn't want everything.
Yeah.
More than I did. So
right.
then that we donated or gave away or whatever.
Exactly.
Left.
Helen, who is very interested in going on the loop, how state of residence, mail. Not too many people think about that because we no longer have a dirt home. A dirt home is a mortar and brick, a house, right? Yeah. Apartment condo. We are living on the water in a boat. So there is a place in Florida, there's a place in South Dakota, and I believe there's a place in Texas that have these services. We opted for the Florida one near St. Augustine called Green Cove Springs. But that's basically a mail service for full-time RVers, full-time boaters, and it also does a lot of work with the medical, like traveling medical people, nurses, doctors, etc. And basically you go there, we surrendered our license, our Michigan license to them, and now we have a Florida license. We're Florida residents, so we vote for Florida registration, taxes, etc.
You don't have to do all that. You can just do the mail service, but
we opted to go all in.
For Florida residents while we're at it.
So we are going to probably continue that because it's easy peasy. And then you kind of just check you have many options. You can check your computer. They can send it to you. They can scan your mail. So it's very easy. But there's one called St. Brendan's Isle is the one we did. just outside of St. Augustine, Florida. We try to empty as much out as we can before we do a big grocery shopping, and that's when we take the bikes in, or we might use a courtesy car or a rental car. But we might be like in town and they have like a little market where we go, oh, we can get some more of this. And what we really like are farmers markets, because that's where you can get your fresh fruits and vegetables. So a lot of towns, depending on if you hit them on the right day, we go to farmers markets. And then this one was also asked, that dentist and doctor, you kind of alluded to that a moment ago. Dentist, we made our 6-month appointment, and we had some. You can find a good medical person through either local knowledge, people who live around where you're at, or the harbor master. They might have a list of those things. You can also find out from our harbor hosts, the America's Great Loop Cruising Association, known as the AGLCA. If you're thinking of doing the loop, I highly recommend joining. They have harbor hosts in a lot of these towns, who are people who are familiar with boating or who have done the loop, who have signed up to kind of be your...
Or want to do the loop.
Yeah,
someday.
but they'll help you with things too. They might come and bring you something, which we've had them bring us a couple packages, or advice or suggestions. We highly recommend that as well.
Provide you with a mailing address if you have to have a package sent somewhere. You know, that
Right.
The marina doesn't want to accept the package.
Right.
Most of them do, though.
Right. And then,
Things like that.
like we said, we had our 6-month checkup, which was kind of cool. We went to a dentist in St. Petersburg, had our teeth cleaned. And so that was nice. So that is the doctor and dentist question. So the next section is, I guess, kind of like daily life, or I called it emotions, feelings. Do you have feelings, Dan?
I might check out of this section.
Yeah, I figured. I'm feely, touchy. Dan's not. All right.
Sometimes touchy.
So a lot of people had questions about similar questions that I tried to roll into one, but Annette and Mary, Annette A and Mary B, what do you miss most about not having a regular house, a conventional house?
What do I miss most about it?
Yeah.
I don't really miss a whole lot. I would say maybe having a nice shower. You know, that you can rely on good warm water and nice, you know, clean facilities. Most of the ones we've done at marinas haven't
I would
been
say like
that bad.
at least like 95, 98%. We have showers in the boat.
Yes.
It's just easier to just go up to a regular shower.
Not have to worry about turning it on and off.
Yeah,
and
but
running out of water.
that
But
one is
that's really
that
not a big
one's-
deal.
No, I think the thing I miss most about a conventional house is really nothing about the house, but the memories that were in the house. But the memories are stored in this house right here.
House of horrors.
Yeah, but no, I don't miss a house at all. None. Zero, zip,
No,
zilch.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not the house. It's you know, your friends, neighbors, people.
Yeah, it's
You
more
miss
the people and the
people.
memories, like, than the actual.
Right.
But then we have people here too. But yeah, you miss your neighbors. What part of living on the land do you miss the most? Oh, that's a little different than house. Land. Nothing. Because we're kind of on the land when we're at a marina.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing on that one.
Different people do the loop different ways. Some people like to anchor out a lot and be on the water like all the time. We like to go into, we do that and we like that.
To anchor,
but we do like to go into marinas and towns and learn places.
Yep. That was, Shannon wanted to know that one. I thought that was an interesting twist. Carrie, she goes, Robin and Captain Dan, we know that you're both very active and both very healthy. How do you adapt to this living on a boat? I'm still very active. We ride our bikes, we walk. Carla, she said, she was funny. She goes, I know you two lovebirds are having a blast. She said, do you still need or want or get time apart?
No. Not at all. No, not really. I don't think so.
What? What part that we don't get time apart, or you don't? What part?
Don't need to have more time
Oh,
apart.
okay. Now, I would say we're not together 24/7. I would say we were together 23 and a half, 7. The only time we really have respite. I might go on a walk.
Yeah,
I might
so,
sit up top. He's down here.
we haven't had a lot of beach weather, but she likes to go to sit on the beach for
Yeah,
long
we've had
periods of time.
some,
I
but
don't.
biking.
So
Yeah. So
I might stay and work on the boat while
But
she
it's-
does something like that.
But it's not that we have to be apart from each other. It's more that I'm going to go do this and you're going to do this. But it's a nice little respite every now
Yeah,
and
once in a while.
then. But overall, yeah, we
No,
don't really
I don't
need it.
think it's a problem.
Mary's a friend of mine from school, and she said, Robin, I know you love your weekly massages and your everyday yoga. How are you doing on that? So yoga, I kind of answered. I've been doing that. And yes, Mary, I've been able to find massages and facials and nails and manis and pedis. And so every now and then I'll find a salon somewhere. It's not weekly, unfortunately. It's more like every couple months. But I have been continuing that. That was so funny when I read that. Paula, she said claustrophobia would be an issue because she'd feel enclosed or claustrophobic.
Well, I mean, if you can look around the boat, I mean, the windows behind us, the whole salon is full is glass, basically.
But yeah, so it's always open, but
plenty of
but
opportunity.
I think what she means, I'm
sunlight.
thinking, I took it as meaning small space.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
no
and that's
space.
true. And again, that's another advantage of going into marinas and getting out, and
Yeah.
walking around.
I never
towns.
feel confined, other than it's always nicer to have a bigger boat. But no, I don't feel claustrophobic at all.
No.
And then Sue kind of topping off. Do you ever get stir crazy?
You do.
Yeah, because I have to be doing something all the time. Wait, did
She's
you
a
just
little
say I'm
hyper.
crazy?
I didn't say that.
Oh, and hyper? I'm not
Say that
hyper.
either.
I'm always calm.
Just watch our videos.
Very funny. Wow, that was a lot of information with a lot of questions and a lot more answers.
Yeah, there's more to come.
More to come. So why don't you stay tuned for part 2. I'm Robin,
I'm Dan.
and we're the Ramblers.